Cookie Crate.
In this video, we are going to discuss the following topic. Is Google a monopoly? And should we regulate it? In order to answer these questions, firstly we are going to briefly introduce Google and its various branches. Secondly, we are going to present 3 markets in which Google might be a monopoly. Thirdly, we are going to discuss whether Google should be regulated or not. What does Google do? Google is a multinational publicly traded organization built around the company's hugely popular search engine. Google's domain of activity also include advertising technologies, internet analytics, cloud computing, browser and operating system development. This company provides the world with many products and services such as Android, Google AdWords, YouTube, Google Chrome, Gmail and much more. What is a monopoly? In order to answer the topic question, we should first understand what a monopoly actually is. A monopoly is a market structure where one producer controls most or all of the supply of a good or a service. There are high entry barriers for new competitors, which might be restricted by highly advanced technology, strong brand, or law. The main objective is to maximize profits. A monopoly is seen as a negative phenomenon in which the company is able to enforce high and unfair prices to consumers for their products. As seen on the graph, the rule for profit maximization is to set the price where marginal revenue is equal to marginal costs. This way, the company is able to achieve abnormal profits from the market and use it for its own benefit.
The first important market in which Google is predominant is the search engine market. The website Net Market Share shows us a chart about different search engines and their market shares. On this chart, we can observe the immense difference between one search engine and the other ones. Not surprisingly, Google is on top, followed by Bing, Yahoo, and Baidu. Google possesses 80% of the market shares in 2017. The rest of important competitors such as Bing, Yahoo, and Baidu respectively possess 7%, 6%, and 4% of the shares.
The second major market we are analyzing is the market for mobile operating systems. Google's product in this market is Android, which possesses a major part of the market. Statista, an online statistics and market research website, offers a chart about global smartphone operating systems, showing the market share between Android, iOS, and other operating systems from 2009 until 2017. On the chart, we can observe that in the start of 2017, Android possesses 81% of market shares, iOS possesses 18%, and the rest of them possess 1% of all market shares.
How does Google generate revenues from those markets? Does it make it a monopoly? Why and how does this threaten consumers? From 2002 to 2016, Google's revenues have not done anything but increase. As we can see, its revenues worldwide in 2016 were nearly 90 billion. Interestingly, according to Alphabet's annual report, main source of Google's revenue comes from Google advertising, which is equal to $80 billion and is 80% of Google's total revenue, which operates through Google Search and applications sold in Android. Because of that, the discussion whether Google is a monopoly or not should focus mainly on digital advertising market, as this is the biggest source of Google's revenues. When analyzing this market, there are 2 major competitors, Google and Facebook. In 2016, Facebook had a revenue of $26 billion in advertising. The prior, however, has more than triple the market share than the former. This, in combination with the monopolistic power in both the search engines and global mobile operating system, can point to Google being a monopoly in the online advertising market, as it possesses around 33% of the entire market. Google's dominant position and a strong brand bring many benefits to it. Companies all around the world want to advertise their products, and non-surprisingly, most of them want to do it via Google, as it has a huge consumer reach and database. This makes the demand inelastic for services of the Silicon Valley giant. Therefore, if we achieve the conclusion that Google can actually be a monopoly in the digital advertising market, the question arises, should it be regulated?
There is no good answer to whether Google should be regulated or not. However, we can discuss it and consider different advantages and disadvantages to this idea. We are firstly going to present the arguments for regulating Google. Primarily, Google is a private company that has made bad decisions in the past. accusations go from unfair competition to shutdown of free speech. In 2017, it was fined by the EU Commission for breaching antitrust rules for giving an illegal advantage to its own shopping service. Google should be a neutral platform in order to respect consumers. Knowing that the American giant paid 28.6 million euros in its Irish tax bill for 2014 on the back of around 18 billion euros in revenues, increasing taxation on Google could help reduce its influence on the markets and increase wealth redistribution. Moreover, Google is much more than just a search engine. Some consider Google to be more powerful than supranational organizations and even states. Its value and data gives Alphabet a huge influence on the world's economy, politics, science, and many more. On the other hand, the arguments against the regulation are as follows. Firstly, the company provides good quality products and does not oblige customers to use bad services. Google continues spending money on research and development to maximize consumers' comfort, innovation, and efficiency. Secondly, Google can be considered as a natural monopoly in the area of search engines. For example, there shouldn't be many water suppliers in a city, because that wouldn't be efficient and require many pipelines to run next to each other. When you limit the number of suppliers in a city to one, it allows the average total cost to drop for the supplier and for the consumers. In this case, Google providing access to all information and advertisements in one place increases efficiency and lowers the cost for the customers. Thirdly, it is hard to find articles and comments about Google Ads being too expensive. Therefore, it can be argued that Google does not set unfair prices and keeps fair policies to their customers. In conclusion, there is no clear and objective answer to the topic's question. Google's size and power make it seem like a monopoly. However, there might be some difficulties on how to regulate it. Despite Google's huge monopolistic power or high amounts of personal data, it does not abuse consumers, set unfair prices, or offer low-quality products. Anyhow, it still focuses on developing its products and brings new innovations to the market. After all, the unofficial slogan of Google is "Don't be evil."